Welcome. We are back for another Heal Me campaign. Send this live on IG, and then we are ready to go. There we go.
There we go.
All right, we are locked in. Give people time to come in. Let's see, Reed and tapped in.
Riga.
My brother, what's goody? For those of you who are watching us right now on IG, if y'all don't mind sharing this with a brother, sister, somebody you know who might benefit from this conversation.
I'm sharing it right now, bro. I just tweeted it too.
Yep.
With the artwork.
So while y'all are sharing, I'm gonna go ahead and update y'all. This is the Heal Me campaign, brotherly conversations, where for the month of May, nightly, between the nights of Sunday night and Thursday night, I'll be having conversations with other African American men, discussing difficulties or challenges that they faced in their life, and how they came out of those challenges to get back to a place of peace, power, and purpose. I started this because in 2019, I wrote a song entitled Heal Me, featuring Grammy-nominated artist Raheem Devon, which talks about how my father raised me, and consequently, he inadvertently taught me some very unhealthy practices for coping with pain and adversity. And so I go tonight, right, me being somebody who's had to work through my own difficult moment, is that through these conversations with other men, brothers who may be currently experiencing what we call like a dark night of the soul moment or a difficult point in their life, they, one, know that they're not alone. Two, hear some strategies that they can use and employ to get back to a place of peace, power, and purpose. And then three, just have a sense of understanding that they can make it through, right? If we can make it through, they can make it through. Our guest tonight is Monty Draper. Monty, tell us who you are, how to love you, how to support you, where to follow you, what you got going on. Start it off. How we tap in?
Man, I want to first say thank you before we got started. You called this morning, and we had a proper check in. And I tell Reed and Kev and Deuce, all my brothers, the community and the brotherhood and the camaraderie, I think is hella needed in a lot of ways for a lot of different reasons. So I want to first and foremost say appreciate you for building the platform and then tapping out, bro, like coast to coast, like it being expensive, like we talked about when we linked. But I am Monty Draper, rapper, producer, service, and always in service of creative expression, storytelling, what have you, from Richmond, California, a proud member, original founder of Grand National Art House based in the Bay Area. Yeah, man. Father, not a father yet, that's crazy. Son, brother, uncle, all those things. I try to have as much attention to detail in all of those roles and all of those, all of those service roles. Try to approach it the same way we do the music, So I'm blessed, man. Glad to be here and rap.
Yeah, Monty, you're a super creative thinker, strategic planner, and leader. I know folks are inspired by you, led by you, walk with you, and the things and the vision that you had and created is super dope. And coast to coast, man, we get the benefit from seeing that, and I've even had the opportunity to come out and benefit from that. So I thank you for using your talents and the gifts that was given to you and operating in that space. Y'all make sure y'all follow Monty, stay tapped in with him. I want to give y'all the layout of how tonight operates the Heal Me campaign. So we always start with an icebreaker. The icebreaker is we listen to the song Heal Me. And then Monty won't give us a review of the song. He'll give us a connection, right? So how, one of the lyrics or two may connect to him. After that, Monty, I'll jump in and I'll ask you what broke you. If it applies, then we answer that. If not, then I might restructure that and just say, what was a difficult moment for you? Like, what was a moment that kind of, what was your Job moment in a sense? We'll get into how you cope with that, whether it was healthy or unhealthy practices. We'll then get into your transition point, what allows you to start to elevate out of that space. We'll go into the practices that you employ on a daily basis to stay elevated or stay in a good space, even in your difficult moments. And then we'll end with your peace, power, and your purpose, man, and how you maintain that. Okay. All right. So if you're ready, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna kick the song in.
Yeah. This is my prayer. See, my father never talked too much, just that look in his eyes. Deep stares out the window told me that life was simple, but I would never know what he would never reveal. The sharp look in his face was pain he would conceal. He inadvertently taught me that real men don't feel, so don't follow your heart. Use it to advance your cause, but always follow your thoughts and make a smart decision. You should barely apologize, never ask permission. And when the world does a thing to try to break you down, don't tell a soul. They waiting just to take your crown. Your woman gon' think you weak if you express your pain. Your men gon' say you sweet, though they be feeling the same. So get a vice, cup of Hennessy, cigarette, live your life. Whatever you gotta do to get sleep at night, cause for the longest you probably ain't sleeping right, or even slept at all. When God calls, don't fight it, take a sigh of relief that you ain't gotta live no more in this grief. Yeah, the cruel world that we living in is hard and cold. You ain't a man till it scars your soul. Straight up, so don't ever express your feelings. You sit in silence, cause the only feelings you get are anger, hate, and violence. But see, the system got a process and a plan for that. Time is the only thing you got, so never hand them that. So if you ever truly feel like you about to break, get you a pencil and a notebook, let your mind escape. Writing is the only place where we can feel free. After he died, I read his notebook, he wrote, Heal me. Heal me, yeah. Heal me. Father, don't nobody understand me. I won't make it out unless you come down and heal me. Heal me. They don't know the pain I've been going through. I call your name cause I know that you can heal me. Was he really that strong? Or just putting up a front? Did death come too soon? Or was it something he won? After 66 hard years of hiding them tears, did he get a reward? Well, let me make this clear that I think his vice got him. The thing he used to cope with life just took the life out of him. Them cigarettes that he was smoking all them stressful days. But we still had a few good days, and I knew, cause he would smoke one or two, but otherwise a pack. I used to ask him not to smoke again, but what I should have said was breathe, pop, don't hold it in. We do yoga to get peace these days, but them Carolina preachers didn't teach these ways. It was suffer and survive. If you don't get your blessings in this life, if you tired, you get them when you die. He used to hit that cigarette and play too much, but he got cancer and ain't say too much. He said, heal me.
Heal me, Monty. What's your take on that? Like, how do you relate to that? Those themes or concepts in the song?
Can we first acknowledge the fact that you and Raheem together just sound like it's supposed to? That is crazy, bro. That is special. Um, a couple of not a couple, a lot of the bars stood out, but the I like the juxtaposition and the representation from verse to verse, and how you put a bow on both verses. The system got a plan and a process for that. Is that how that bar goes? The
Mm-hmm.
system got a plan and a process for that. After you set up these scenarios of a particular interface and relationship with grief and healing. And what I hear, what I feel is an approach to talk about the journey of rewiring, for a better lack of better terms, and trying to understand how our own process and interface with grief impacts all of our relationships with, with women, with our partners, with our bosses, our coworkers, our business partners, etc. Um, and when you get towards the end, the system got a plan and a process for that. Intentional, a lot of the for Black men specifically feel, in an effort to kind of undermine the advancement and the expansion of our community, is just, it's mind blowing, but it's a beautiful way to package it and present it as an idea, not too forceful, with a little bit of finesse around Heal Me. And then in the second verse, get it when you die. I had lunch with my mom and my grandmother today, and my mom was talking about her weekend, and she told me that otherwise, did I lose you? Did I lose you, Yusha?
No, we here.
Oh, okay. A homie, she went to go see a friend that otherwise would be hella put together, make sure the house was straight, like put on this facade. And she got there, and her homie was like, "Look here, sis, I'm tired, and you family, I love you. I feel safe enough around you to just be what it is today. Can we just rest?" She was like, "Girl, absolutely." And we entered into this conversation in and around the idea of our collective relationship with rest and recharging our batteries, and this illusion or this hamster wheel or this creating this facade of just being busy for the sake of, whether it is, you don't feel like you deserve to rest, but healing components exist around sleep, recharging your batteries and stuff, and we don't get it because we're constantly in this thing that we're just trying to keep up. And I can't believe I couldn't count on one hand how many times in rap that concept of sleep when you die, sleep as a cousin of death, did like continue, how we perpetuate that, and how we're seeing that now, right? Where it's funny, I was thinking about it the other day. If you ever watch the news, whenever anyone else is murdered on a timeline or what have you, or there was a phone or CCTV around, they don't show it. But if it's a Black body laying in the middle of the street for however long, don't nobody hesitate to just run that on loop. And I don't care what you say, I know that the system has a plan and a process for that, and there's a reason why that exists, and how that plays and weighs on our psyche. And when you see YouTube Music, Universal, Empire, all the biggest labels that distribute music today, and their biggest cash cows are NBA YoungBoy, Lil Baby, in terms of what is being perpetuated in the music, that's intentional, So I, again, as it started, that like, I really, really commend you for how imaginative and fearless that the sentiment in a record like Heal Me is, and how someone like myself would benefit from that being spun on the radio 20 times a day, being at the top of every playlist, being placed and synced in different commercials, etc. Because I want to see, I want to imagine a space with healed people running it, not normalizing being broken, and championing being broken. We enough of that shit. Excuse my language, but I'm so tired of that rhetoric, bro. It's like normalize healing and making healing fly. And I love that. I love that, man.
Yeah. Thank you for that, man. How you speak and how you share is so dope. Following your mind is dope because it's
Yeah,
like the way you speak is like you're weaving. Um, you go from like concept and technicality of the song to uh, connecting to a real moment with your mom or her friend or her peoples and the necessity for that, but then bringing that out and applying that to the macro, which is like healing being a focus, healing being a new genre. Like I want to be around healing people. And
yeah,
so I think I'm going to have a lot of fun tonight listening to your story. And I'm sure all of our listeners will too, because of your ability to go micro, macro, and then in between, and then give us something that's cohesive that we can understand, hit all of the
right.
different parts. I think it's going to be super dope. Thank you for that, man. Um, let's
Absolutely.
dive right in. Um, what broke you, man? What was the moment for you? What was your Joe moment?
Oh man, I don't. I don't. I'll pick one for the sake of just not being long winded. But I've had a few moments where I just like wow. And my grandmother remarried in sheesh, '06 maybe '07, but a long time partner that was rather present in my life. Um, and not to say that my actual biological grandfathers weren't. They just proximity. One was in Topeka, Kansas. The other San Francisco for a long period of time. And this gentleman, Ted, was just right around the corner. So here comes prom, and you need gas for the whip. But I'm an athlete, so I'm not working no gig to supplement. And prom is coming up, and I'm looking across the haircut and just fly. And I get a call from Pop, and he's like, "Hey, yo, you got prom coming up?" Like, yeah. He like, pull up on me. I got some bread for you, but I need you to do some work in exchange for it. And so pull up, and this man goes, "Yeah, I need you to build me and your grandma a deck." I'm like 16 at the time. I'm like, oh, man, I don't know how to even use a drill, bro, or a power tool. He's like, oh, we gonna figure it out. So we do. We take the measurements and we go buy the lumber and we get all the nails and everything. And I was like, bro, what is happening right now? Put that in my back pocket, carry it with me. Fast forward to going off to college, graduating, moving back home, trying to hold down jobs in pursuit of this rap career. And man, it's not. Um, my my grandfather ends up needing multiple treatments of dialysis per week, and surprise, surprise, the person that got enough time on their hands to drive him is me because I ain't got shit else going on. So I lived in Hayward at the time. My grandmother and grandfather lived in Hercules, and then the city called Hercules, and then the dialysis treatment, the VA, is in Palo Alto at Stanford. And so everybody in different parts of the world it's hard to put in proximity, but we're talking about an hour and a half each way, but going back the other way. So if I'm in Hayward, I'm hella close to Stanford, but I'm about to kick one to pick my grandfather up from Hercules, an hour and a half back the other way to go shoot back past my house another hour and a half to Stanford, and then take him back to Hercules to get back 2 times a week, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. But I got in the habit of carrying all my equipment with me, and I was sitting next to his bed and just make music. I'm learning how to produce at the time. I got my machine with me, and I'm figuring out sound design and sampling. And the beat of the dialysis machine sounded like a metronome, fam. So
Mm.
I'm working on this. I'm working on this project. I don't even know why I'm working on the project because I don't have a label. I don't have anything at the time. I'm just making this thing that I want to make. And Rex Life Rogers calls me and is like, "Yo, you going crazy? We want to figure out a distro situation with you." I'm like, "Hey, that's what's up." Via Empire or whatever. And I'm like, "Dope." He's like, "Yo, I'm gonna send over an agreement here." In transit to take my grandfather to the house. Letter. I'm like, I don't have an entertainment at the time, and I take Pop home, and I'm walking. I'm telling them I got a ride, but I really got an Uber. I'm about to overpay. I'm about to overdraft my account to take this Uber back to the house because telling them no ain't an option. Like I don't got it or whatever. It's just nah, bro. I'm gonna make it happen. So I'm about to overdraft this account to get this Uber back to the crib. I'm walking to the club, so my grandmother's an Uber. She's yelling and like running as fast as she can down the sideway because she's waving this thing. And it was a $500 check to pay the deposit for the entertainment lawyer to look over the agreement. I had no idea, bro. And listening, we just rapping, shooting the shit. He asking me all these questions, and it's not even registering to me. He's doing the recon work to figure out what is needed for this next phase of his career. But she gave it to me, and I bullshit you not, bro. And I'm 6'3", 300, standing there and like about to collapse in my grandmother's arms because, like, damn, y'all believe in me this much? You feel what I'm saying? Like it in the grand scheme, it don't feel like a large gesture, but it was one of them ones where you like, bro, I probably should quit right now, go get a steady gig because this is crazy. Living like this, I'm living in the studio at the time. Not eating. It was mainly, and here they come with a check to keep shit lit, and I'm not, bro. I can't be worthy of this. You feel me? Like I can't be of this type of favor. I hear so many horror stories of people who like, man, nobody believed in me. Da 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 da. Fam, I personally have not had that experience. It's felt like around every corner, through every hurdle. There's been an immense abundance amount of love and support to keep doing your thing. Because otherwise I would have been quit. You feel me? So, like I said, I could name hella moments, but I think of that one's burned in my brain because now fast forward that was in 2017. Fast forward to 2020. Grandpa gets sick, goes into a rehab facility, or no, he breaks his ankle, goes into a rehab facility, contracts COVID, and dies in like on his own, like alone. You feel me? This is my dog, but the COVID visitation shit was so strict, we couldn't go see him, and he was dumbass far. And so he passes, I believe, shit, probably fairly close to Christmas, if I'm not mistaken. I wonder, yeah, right? I got to call. I got to my mom make sure. But guess who was there to help me properly grieve losing one of my best friends? Brookfield Deuce, Kevin Allen, Karika Bailey. My newfound, my bruhs and that I met through the art scene, like pulled up on me, no question, and made sure I had all the essentials. And my essentials which is some trees and some records to just sample that night, bro. And when I tell you, bro, I rolled so many blunts that night, bro, and just dropped the needle on every sample. It was the only way I could think to honor my grandfather, but they literally dropped off the care package and not what it consisted of. And I was like, bro, y'all, I love y'all, man. So,
Yeah. So look,
it's been a ton of moments, bro. But I shared that one. I wanted to share that one.
yeah, let me jump in on that one. So first of all, thank you for that story. I love the way you told it too, because you set it up for why, right? For one, you didn't lean heavily on the moment he passed. It was part of the story. You leaned heavily on the love he showed.
Yeah.
Right? Being a new dude,
Yeah.
getting married 06, 07 around that time, marrying your grandmother, and then immediately coming in and showing her like he sees you, like he knows how to love, and has shown up for you in times like this dope idea that like I'm gonna provide you with this money to get what you need for prom, and it's prom season, right? My daughter called me right before we got on here to be like, what you think about my prom gift, right?
Right. Right.
So not only is he's gonna get you what you need for prom, but he's gonna spend some time with you. Because when you was like, man, I don't even know how to work these tools for the day, he said, we gonna figure it out.
We're gonna figure it out.
So come with me. We gonna do it together. I'm gonna get to know you, get to know me. We gonna spend time together. We gonna bang this out. But at the end of the day, and to me, that's a bigger thing than just like, here, take the money.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Because he could have just gave you the money, but he said, nah, come here.
No, I mean, so to add to that, fast forward now, doing housework, painting, all this. I'm like, bro, I randomly kind of know how to do all of this because Pop was like, hey man, you're gonna be an old school man and know how to do a little bit of everything, and but then also normalize not being afraid to ask for help and go do the research, all that shit. Like, but learn at the very least, learn how to put a play together. Be afraid to do the work, and then you'll never go hungry. And I can honestly say those tools that he provided me with, bro, have guided me this whole way to this journey. Because go where you could end up on. I ended up in DC randomly, without very much bread, and lo and behold, I have an aunt and a bunch of cousins in the city that were just able to come swoop me up from the train station, and you wouldn't have known I ain't know them people my whole life, fam. You know what I'm saying? Like it was that when I tell you covered, my boy, I literally mean it, bro. Like covered for real.
Favorite. So let me ask you this. I wanna dive into this point, right? After being so loved by your grandfather, how was it processing his loss, knowing that because of the circumstances he had to do that by himself?
I to this day, even telling you right now, I didn't even realize it, but it's it comes up, and and really and truly, like it's not even about me. It's about how A1 my grandmother is. So chances are, Pop doesn't live nearly as long. If not for how my grandmother loves, the way she loves him is how hey, go to the doctor, go make an appointment for your face. Did it like my grandma is so on top of her shit. It's not even funny. So really, I was thinking about that because what I don't tends to happen is Monty and Yush make a plan, something doesn't go well, and now we got to read the critics and everything. Da, 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 da. And it's like, bro, what y'all fail to realize is the playoffs is on right now. Brian loses the ball out of bounds, and Stephen A. or Skip think they can say something be harder on him than he is on himself. And that's not how that works, bro. Nobody is harder on me than I am me. And my grandma is just, I get that. I think I get it from her to keep it a being. So all I kept thinking was how much she cares for him and how much by proxy she leaned on me to support and the care for her. I was beating myself up and him dying alone. I'm thinking about my grandma. Like, what kind of torment is she experiencing? And being like, bro, how you perish in a silo like that when you are his biological kids, his inherited stepkids, his grandchildren, his inherited grandchildren. Like everybody love that man so much, bro. So for him to have to like just go, he's such a stepper. I know he wasn't scared, but shit, man, I think about that all the time, and that's why I say in terms of the grieving process, I was sick, bro. Like I don't even think I called the fellas. Like I to this day I don't even know how they found out, but they pulled up immediately. It was like it felt immediate. I may be misremembering that, but it felt like they were there, like relatively soon after I got the news. You know what I'm saying? So it was just, I'll never forget that. And just had going in and out of these phases of being angry because the whole COVID shit felt like a farce anyway, if I'm being honest. And even if it wasn't a farce, how the hospitals and the doctors and everything were treating a particular type of person, a particular status of person, really pissed me off. Because what could have been done had they not been also, had the country not been in that weird ass phase, you know?
Right.
So it was, I was like, and I, you've been around me, Yush. Like I've worked so hard to be, you know, to not anger so quickly. And so when feelings of anger do rise like that, I don't really, you know, like it's a little bit jarring for real because I've done so much work to not really get there. But that type of rage is, that shit is jarring for real. It's the best word I can describe it as, because in any event it do go there, who gonna stop me? You feel me? So it's just like, just had to really do a lot of work and just sit with it.
Yeah, I know COVID offered us COVID, the time period, the policies offered us a lot of challenges outside of just dealing with health.
Right.
It just made it, how America and how some of our institutions handled it, just made, you know, things a lot more difficult. And I know there were countless loved ones during that time period who even if they didn't have COVID, still had to bear the weight of not having their loved ones because of the stipulations in hospitals. When it's been scientifically proven that people, it's been scientifically proven through research that people have a better chance of living, surviving, and getting healthy when they're connected to love. Sitting in silos and rooms, um, heavy. I want to lean into, because you kind of went there, right? You kind of already went there in terms of like transition, and I think there's this time period, right, where you talk about the anger and the rage that comes with that, but you also was like, as soon as you found out, the fellas pulled up on you. For those, especially men, right, who may in a situation like that carry the weight and the burden silently.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk to us about how being able to lean on the homies, how was that for you?
Oh, that's the sauce. That's the game. That's when everything changed, bro. Like, cause for so long, and I told Reeg and Fee this, the first time I spent like real time with them, I was like, yo, I can't even begin to imagine the type of grief y'all are experiencing right now. But I need y'all to know how you're making this look right now for someone like myself. And it's the last thing y'all want to hear, but thank you for doing it this way. Is again, I can't imagine how hard it is. So now, fast forward and shit, it wasn't just me, Deuce, Kev, like everybody was experiencing so much loss around the same time, bro. Like it was wild. But the idea of having each other, and for so long, again, normalizing healing, right? As opposed to, man, I'm just gonna be sad down in the dumps and have and make worse decisions because it's impaired in my said anger. It's like, nah, bro, you need to know that there are other people out there experiencing the same thing, but they are also putting one foot in front of the other and truly honoring their ancestors that have perished, and becoming the realized version. Like bro, my grandfather saw something in me when I was kept all my newspapers and shit. So he's clearly seen it. So what I look like not honoring that and get like he wouldn't have thought that was fly, like being hella sad down and depressed in the dumps and not continuing to work and stay on the grind. He would have been like, get your ass back to work and like respectfully to heal so that you don't have these lapses and these relapses, for lack of better terms, and it undermines the scale, because we're trying to scale as people, as entrepreneurs, as artists. Like, we're trying to get better every day, and part of that is confronting the grief. And I'd never cared for that way by and then you got to think like the appearance matters too. Like, think about what y'all look like, bro. Like, seriously, what y'all look like and how y'all move. It ain't never looked this fly before. Usually it's the other way, where cats is overcompensating for their gangster, how tough they are and all that shit. But man, like the hard dog, the toughest cats I know do they daughter hair before school, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta completely rewire and reimagine what we associate tough with, and tough is healing. You know what I'm saying? And my dogs pulling up. It wasn't y'all, you ain't got to talk about it. Let's go do some dumb shit. Let's go get drunk. Let's go get high. Nah, I was like, bro, how you feeling for it? Like, what's up? What's on your mind? What's on your heart? What's on your spirit? What can we do? What should we do? And a continued conversation, as opposed to suppressing it and having it rise to the surface in ways that you can't explain. And now you're undermining other relationships of value, other opportunities of value, because you ain't properly healed. Like, go sit your ass down somewhere and get your spirit intact so we can get back to work.
And I love that. So there's two things that stand out to me in that portion of the story. Is one, and I've said it too, but your reflection of how your friends Kariga and Felicia, and I say our friends, but I'm also thinking about all the people on this live who don't know them. So I'm gonna get them some context without telling their story. But our friends were experiencing a difficult point in grief, but were allowing themselves to kind of to walk their healing process out loud.
Right.
So I think one of the dope things you said was watching them move that way, watching them deal with grief and healing in this kind of bold and courageous way gave you insight and courage. And so that stands out to me because it tells us that, like, it's kind of like that idea where they was like, nobody can run a mile in under 4 minutes. And then once one person did it, it's been done countless amounts of times. And so it's kind of like that same thought process, right? Like, we don't know how to handle grief, but once we watch somebody do it, then we get to do it.
That's a bar. And
then the second thing that really stood out to me was, you talk about the toughest men, like they do their daughter's hair before they go. And you talked about healing. Healing is the tough work. And the reason why I really like that as a concept for brothers who may need to hear it is because we think that the things that we grew up in our neighborhood learning about how to cope with pain or how to deal with certain things made us tough. But adulthood will teach you that the toughest things are the things that you haven't done yet. The things that are uncomfortable. So healing to me is the tough work, because for so long, I mean, let's be real. Healing is a new word in this aspect of our existence. Healing before was you got a cut is healing, right? You're sick, you're healing. Healing in terms of your mental, emotional wellness. This is what, 5 or 6 years?
If we're lucky, yeah.
Right. And it's such a difficult thing to address, because it's still elders in our community, not all, right, but it's still elders in our community we can't have a conversation with. You go to them and talk about healing, they like healing. You go back to work. That's what we did.
And then add the stunted growth of COVID to it, though. No, people still haven't addressed the mental warfare that took place on the babies, on relationships. Completely happy families were completely upended during COVID because of the walls being closed in on them. resources being cut off. That's a real thing, bro. That really took place. So yeah, 5-6 years trending up of this mental health awareness, black mental health awareness, and then boom, cut off. Watch on loop a few black bodies be strung out, bro. This is warfare for real. Cyber terrorist attacks on a daily that are happening to a particular group of folks. Mental warfare, bro.
Indeed. But like you said, the homies pulling up on you is the sauce. Being able to
It's the sauce. It's the sauce.
have a network of friends who vouch for, stand for, activate, proactively push this idea of wellness. You know, that's a thing. But here's the kicker, and I have this question for you.
Yes, sir.
What allowed you to receive it?
Now
they can pull up. They can pull up.
Now we cooking.
But what allowed you to receive it?
Man. Who, right? Carry 12. Sometimes they'll carry 15, but a couple of cats ain't playing, and then the rotation is probably 7 realistically if we keep it in a stack. Like once it get tight, the rotation is probably 7, 8 if you lucky. I happen to play on a few teams with some dogs for real, like some real dogs, and I'm actually going down to the Black Student Summit in at USC tomorrow, for networking event where student athletes are coming together to share their experiences in industries, and a lot of those foundational tools of the mental capacity, the competition kind of expands is really dope. And for me, because I don't know if this is a general thing, but for me, no matter what the circumstances were, the higher ranked the player or the team, for whatever reason, bro, no matter how limited my abilities might have been, like I didn't jump the highest, I wasn't the fastest, didn't have the purest jumper, but for whatever reason, bro, the brighter the lights was, the bigger the stage was, shit, let's take it on one then. I don't, and to this day, I don't know what that is, but in practice, my high school coach gave me a gym. He was like, bro, run next to the fastest person. When we run in suicides, go run next to the fastest person and just keep up. Don't forget everybody else in the gym. Just try to keep up with that person. And bro, for that day changed everything. You know, don't be weird about identifying those who are better than you. Actually, go seek them out and go build relationships with those folks. And again, another one of those things that have served me so well. I just told Riga this the other day. I was like, bro, you forever. There's a song Forever we do in this ID, and the way he danced on that beat, bro, is elite. And I'm supposed to be doing ad-libs and everything drops, and I'm just like sitting back going, wow, my dog is nice. I tell Irk on Kev all the time, it's like, bro, you're crazy. Because he'll go from Hove to Curtis Mayfield in the same song and make it look easy. It's like, oh, this is crazy. So I sought these relationships out, bro. I was helling. I prayed for y'all. Like for real. I wanted to be around some bros that was, you know, and I imagine us all separately go through your own journeys, and so it's not to compare, but I've identified y'all as the aliens, and you guys have some things that I want to mold my life after, my artistic integrity after, my morals after, and I'm running next to the faster cat in practice. That's what it is. This is as simple as the simplest way I can explain it. I hope it resonates. But this is something I've modeled my life after. It's like not being afraid to seek out those better than you, bro.
You said something earlier. I smiled when you started talking about that because that is your sauce for sure. But I smiled also because you said something earlier. You said specifically you talked about when people say they haven't been supported, they haven't had this support. You was like that's not been your story, right? You can count time and time again when you've been supported. Then I connect that to you saying my coach told me to go run beside the fastest player. Just keep up with that person and it changed your life. As soon as you said that, I double smiled because I've seen that and how you set up your things, right? That's this question of how can this artist, this super dope, super talented artist, producer, DJ for real, organizer, be visionary enough, humble enough, willing enough, exposed enough to align himself with the men who would show up for him when needed. It's because when you run with the fastest person, when you choose to go stand beside the fastest person and run with them, for some, that might be you saying, yo, I'm in competition with you. I'm going to keep up. But the fastest person may also look at that as, now I got somebody who to run with me.
Mom.
You know what I'm saying? Now I got somebody to run with me. And I say that from being on both sides of the spectrum. If you've ever been that person on the team who works extremely hard, who is committed to the victory, it feels good to have somebody who says, nah, I'm committed to it too. Let's go. I'm gonna run with you. Because now you got a teammate. You made the aliens, in a sense, your teammates by running with them, by supporting them. Mm-hmm. So when I ask you the question of like what allowed you to receive the support, it's clear you were giving support.
Wow.
But you set your whole infrastructure up like that. Found the dopest people and said, yeah, I'm gonna come run with you.
Yeah.
What you need?
Yeah. What do you need? What do you need in this? Bro, thank you for that phrase. That's it. Again, but like talked about my grandmother, my mom, like all of like a lot of them. My mom, we laugh all the time because it's like, man, y'all grew up rich, and me and my mom be laughing at that shit. It's like, bro, no, we didn't. But she's a lot. It looked like something. She was always gonna make it feel like something. So the perception is that, but now I'm being of age. I know pure love be looking like wealth because it's really really hard to obtain for real. Like, bro, what do you need? And a couple of homies like experienced some transitions in their immediate families this past week, and we were talking about it in the kitchen. It was like, yo, it'll be the essentials that you can't even think about because you're in such tunnel vision with grief. A case of water, a meal prep for the week, so you don't even got to think about it, but you still got to eat. You need to be nourished. It'd be the little things that you can't even. So when you say, yo, what do you need? I'm about to slide on you. And you can just provide that, especially in this space where you getting it out the mud, you putting on your own shows, recording your own albums. You're like, bro, hey man, let me come be your PA for today.
Hey, bro, I'm sorry, I'm stuck on pure love. Be feeling like wealth. I've been stuck there.
It looked like it too when you think about it. When the people that love what they do, You don't know what they bank accounts say, but shit if it don't look like they up for real. When they really love what they do, when they love a girl, when they love a kid, you know what I'm saying? Like man, you must be rich. Like make it look like something. Make it look like something though, for real, for sure.
I stopped in that moment because my family got love. My family got love for sure, but they show it differently. But I think I saw the purest. I met the purest form of love when I met Reed and his family, especially when I met
Moms, man, the way she hug you, melt you,
bruh. And the
melt you.
conversations that Reed used to have about how she would run that fork through that jasmine rice to extend the pot, and the way that I saw Kariga in our early 20s in DC give, but like never run out. And we got the same job and almost make the same kind of money. I'm like, how you not running out of money?
I'm gonna make it stretch, my boy.
So when you say like pure love,
yeah,
looks like wealth, like I've seen that. Yeah. But what I'm also seeing is that like in connection, right? You ran with your homies.
Yeah.
So when it was time for them to show up for you, you knew how to receive because you had really already been showing up for them. But where did that come from for you? It's clear. Your grandfather and your grandmother, and probably not just them, but they showed up to run with you. Your grandmother literally ran outside with the check. Like,
hey, go take care of your business. Like for real. There's countless from my uncle, my dad's sisters to bro. When I tell you the village and people that aren't even blood related, bro, real. They've always open door, shared whatever it is, bro. We didn't have everything we needed this whole time, bro. I promise you. I promise you.
So let me run it back. So the homies pull up. They take care of you. They bring you a care package. What is your process of, because I'm assuming, right? I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, that your process after that moment has some health to it, some wellness to it, versus what it could have been. One, because you had the proper legacy, the tutelage was there from your grandfather, from your grandmother, your family, but the homies also showed up, and so you're surrounded by people who love and care for you, and you're in a place where you can actively receive it. What does your day-to-day process look like after that, in terms of like being able to grieve through that, but still come back to a place of like, all right, resolve?
He's a painter and a sculptor, and Shoe Shine Boy. It's like 3 or 4 pieces that I was able to. I had gotten even before then, so I was able to really be surrounded and immersed in his art. Was so fly, and I remember because I tell Kev this all the time with his photos. My affinity for depth in art, and that's both musically and in cinema as well. And I don't know this for a fact because I didn't study either one. I'm not classically trained in none of this shit. But when you put the headphones on and you listen to what's a good album? When you listen to Maggot Brain, or you listen to Voodoo. Voodoo's a good one. The depth of the layers is everything has a place. Like you can hear all of D'Angelo's backgrounds. You can hear everything. In cinema, like the way shit is framed and how far you can see into the frame of the photo. And I remember looking at his Shoe Shine Boy piece and him telling me that he used to shine shoes at the 7th Street train station in West Oakland. I was like, it never dawned on me that the Shoe Shine Boy was him, but it was him. And that photo was over my workstation. And the homies brought me a crate of records, and I'm before I sample, I just listen. So I'm just record after record, just putting them on, come back, walk away, look, and I just happen to drop the needle and look up, and was like, "Oh, bro, you here this whole time? Like you've been here?" And I just started laughing and crying at the same time. I wish I could remember what record was playing, but at the same time, bro, I'm laughing and crying hysterically. I was like, "This is hella funny," because he is in. It's him. He made a photo of him when he was a shoe shine boy, and it's the shoe shine boy piece. That shit was so funny. Thinking about it now, it's hilarious. So we just created a lot, created so much between the house and going. I didn't leave the house. Instead of going to the studio, I went and got the record player from the studio and just did everything at the crib. Yeah.
So you went into creative mode. And sounded like you were reinvigorated in that space when you realized that he was still with you.
He didn't go nowhere. There's a couple of hats that was his favorite. I gave him for the Reasonable Doubt, whatever anniversary that was. I don't remember what anniversary it was, but they did that whole merch launch. Biggs put out the Rock 96 stuff. And the last thing they had in my size was a coach's camo jacket. And because my pop served in the military, I wore the jacket. And he was like, "Hey, man, that's a nice coat." But it wasn't like he was saying it like he was giving me a compliment. He was like, "Take that shit off." And so I had given him the jacket. And he passed very shortly after that. And Gigi gave me it back. And I was like, and it was in the pocket was... it was some kind of card in the pocket, like a little card from like a restaurant or something. But it was like these little remnants of stuff he was just always there. But I didn't wear the jacket for hella long because I was like, "Oh, I'm cool." And then I finally went to go put it on one day, and that was inside the coat.
Bro, can I tell you how powerful this night has been? This story has been. It's throughout the traumatic experiences that we can face as human beings, especially as Black folks growing up in America, there could be many ways in which a person can tell a story where a person can say, "I don't relate to that." And they can say that because their experience had maybe been a little darker or a little heavier or a little more submersed in pain, right? Not to say that you didn't experience this heaviness, the darkness, or the immense pain that comes with loss and grief. However, what you told us was a story of how you got loved, how that love led you to love, how by walking in love, you were able to receive love at a time when you needed it. And then even after your loved one was gone, you could still find the love in his presence. The reason why I think this is so powerful, is so dope, is because as a Black boy, I know for sure there were things that I did not experience in my lifetime that I can look back now and be like, I didn't get that. But I have enough belief that with the proper healing and the proper insight, I can create that for my child or for generations to come. So it was at a point in my life where I stopped saying, "Hey, I can't worry about." It was a point in my life where I said, I can no longer worry about what I didn't get. I now have the opportunity to give. What am I going to give my child? Like, how am I going to set her story up different? Yeah. The way you told your story today was different than the way all the other stories have been told, not because it's just you, right? You and your unique story and the unique life that you live, but you told a story that somebody might be like, "Man, that's, what I mean, he had all this love. That's dope. I didn't have that." What I love is at some point as human beings, there can be an inspiring moment that says, "Hey, maybe I didn't have that, but if I heal, if I work on it, maybe I can be the grandfather to the next money."
Come on.
See what I'm saying? Maybe I'm the grandfather to the next money. Because as much as your grandfather showed up for you and your grandmother and other people in your life, but as much as this shaped how you love, how much you were willing to go run with the fastest and support them. The same man who showed up to support you used to be the shoe shine boy.
Ooh,
So at some
man.
point in his existence, he said, I'm gonna show up like this.
Right.
And so, that just leads me to say for those who may not have experienced that connect that level of love and functionality and healing or wellness that leads to more healing and wellness. We got time to create it.
We got to.
You got time to create it. Monty, thank you, man, for your story, man. It's 10:04 and I want to be mindful of your time and the time of our listeners. We're gonna get into our 3 P's really quickly, brother. I'm just gonna, ask you and whatever comes to mind, you let us know how it sits with you. When do you feel most peaceful?
When I'm with my girl, man, she's probably probably one of the smartest people I ever met, but she gonna think of everything you ain't think of next. Like she got something I know I'm supposed to do next week. She didn't set it up already. I don't even have to worry about it. So that peace and that sense of calm of having that support, that stability is I've never experienced something like it, bro. Somebody extension of your brain, but way smarter than you is crazy. It's so crazy. So yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Thank you.
When do you feel most purposeful?
In utility, whether it's we got Jane was sweet enough to invite us over to the lab, to the mothership, to the dog pound everybody is, and we deer in headlights. We walking through and just like taking everything in. Ain't no engineer to run a session. We fine. We got it. Like I could, we can do it. So these opportunities and these moments aren't lost because it's like, bro, I something happened when I first started doing music and we missed out on a really big opportunity. And I went to blame somebody not showing up, and my mentor checked me immediately. He was like, yeah, that's kind of true. But the other part of that story is you could have figured that shit out. So when we are in need, somebody need to DJ, somebody need to run front of house, we need to book a venue, we need to do man. And it's because somebody else didn't do it, ain't gonna be the reason it didn't get done for the squad. Is when I feel most purposeful.
Love that. When do you feel most powerful?
Powerful? On stage. I feel untouchable on stage. On stage, I do. Like about all of those lights, the music, and it's like the game when the game finally slows down, you're onto something. And I had a few moments like that in hoop, but not a lot. The stage and sets used to move so fast. They're moving so slow. I can see everybody in the crowd. I can feel them. I can touch them. Every word I'm saying is like I can feel it leaving my gut and coming out. Like I feel really in control on stage for sure.
I can relate. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much for tapping in for the Heal Me campaign and telling the story. For everybody who's here, this is the Heal Me campaign, Brotherly Conversations. We're nightly during the month of May, Sunday through Thursday nights. I talk to African American men who have experienced a difficult time in life, but been able to come out of it and get back to a place of peace, power, and purpose. Our guest tonight, Monty Draper. We thank you. We appreciate you. For those who are here from my page, please tap in with him, follow him, support him, connect with him. And for those who are here through Monty, thank you for showing up to support him in this space. Brother, these are the stories, man. This part of the sauce too, us being willing to talk about it out loud so that other people can, run a 3.58 mile.
Come on,
man. Love you, brother. Thank you.
Love you, bro.